An alarming warning coming out of a meeting on watershed management in the Calgary area. City councillors met with experts all day Monday to discuss the issue. It was revealed that Calgary could reach the provincial limit on daily water withdrawals from the Bow and Elbow rivers in less than 20 years. That's because demand will be higher and the supply will be lower. Our growing population and the declining flow rates on our rivers are due to the loss of glacier ice, and they are being to blame. Danielle Smith from Global News Radio 770 CHQR joins us to continue this conversation. Danielle, the meeting concluded with dire warnings about water shortages, the need for immediate change around that. What action then does the city or the province need to take here?
I think this report probably caught a lot of people by surprise. We've always heard that Calgary managed to get enough water license back in the 50s to accommodate a 3 million person population. And nobody thinks we're going to be anywhere near 3 million people by 2036 when they say we're going to start having water shortages. So what's going on? It seems like there's two factors at play. One is that because Calgary has so much water license, it's become the go-to supplier for many of the growing communities in the region. But beyond that, there's a lower limit that Calgary is allowed to withdraw on a daily basis, and that's where it's going to get into trouble. Regardless, they've got to come up with a solution for it. When you think about it, 17 years from now is not a lot of time. If they've just identified the problem, then they've got to identify some of the solutions. Then they've got to go through and scope those out, get engineering reports, do public consultations, go through a provincial environmental assessment, a federal environmental assessment. So they got to get going. What I find spectacular, though, is that we've been having this conversation for the past 6 years about the Springbank Dry Dam being the only solution anyone wants to look at when it comes to flood protection. But the Springbank Dry Dam, key word in there, dry, it isn't going to be a reservoir. It's not going to store water permanently to be able to be used throughout the course of the year to mitigate against drought and dryness. And so it seems to me that there is a perfect solution here. If we're now looking at $500 million for the Springbank Dry Dam, they've identified that there needs to be a new reservoir built to accommodate future water issues. Why aren't they going back to the drawing board and seeing if maybe there's a solution further upriver to build a proper reservoir without having to displace all those ranching families? So I'm going to talk to a water expert today. Greg Goss has been studying this at the University of Alberta, looking at areas where we are going to be in a pinch and what potential solutions are and what the opportunities are. So we're going to get through some of that today.
Well, you're right. 17 years, not that far away when you put it into perspective. Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah, my pleasure.